YouTube, we're back. It's Dominic Izzo and Lenny Sly of the Rogue Warrior Training Compound. It's fucking fantastic to say. Yep. All right, Rogue Warriors on YouTube. If you guys are new to the channel, you don't know me, this is Lenny Sly of Combative Concepts. I'm Dominic Izzo of the Izzo Warrior Academy. We're out here in Chicago. And if you saw the last video I did, I said Lenny's bringing something to the channel I haven't seen anywhere. Nowhere. So, a couple of months ago, we did a video, well, I did a video without Lenny where I got choked out because the whole new hot controversy is on the rear naked choke, choking out, especially in law enforcement. I just read online that our governor either is potentially, or he did already outlaw chokeholds, get signed a bill against them. Number one, chokeholds is a generic statement. It's a rear naked choke. It's a neck restraint, all that stuff. Do your own research. But the cool thing is how it translates to combat. So Lenny and I, we're not MMA guys, you know, we're the traditional martial artists who bring out combative purposes. So Lenny showed me a technique a few weeks ago that I went fucking awesome, all right? And what I'm gonna have him explain is a very simple technique, but it leaves room open for combative purposes. I'll just leave it at that, and it has everything to do with the choke. So what did you show me the other day?
Okay, well first off, just, you know, I was researching this choke as a matter of fact, just the other day. I haven't seen anything like this. I've been actually dicking around with this chokehold for, 20 years, 25 years. And it all started off with, you know, how you fuck around with your friends and stuff like that. You know, it's, you know, smacking each other around, whatever. And it's like I fell into this choking technique and it was like instantly effective. It was like, dude, what the fuck was that? It's like, I have no idea. I just fell into it. Well, obviously through my years of martial arts training, it was always something I kept in my back pocket with, you know, choking people instead of doing like a rear naked choke or, you know, triangle choke or whatever you want to call it. So I was like kind of trying to look up the history of like how this application is done, like the shape of it.
Right.
Okay. And with one of the Japanese martial arts systems that I trained in for some time, this is actually, it kind of represents or kind of like, yeah, I guess you could say it like represents, or it's kind of like a variation of what this choking technique is called in this other system called Sankaku Jime. San means 3.
Okay.
Okay, each knee san, Japanese. So Sankaku Jime is like triangle choke. So you have this triangle. Okay.
This is the base of a rear naked choke, which everyone of us on the planet knows what it is. Rear naked choke, lion killer, MMA, finishing hold, all that stuff.
Exactly. So that's pretty much where, I guess you can say from the historical standpoint of it, that's what I found, is that it would basically be a variation of Sankaku Jime. And Jime means strangulation or choke in Japanese art.
And just to clarify, when you do a choke, it's either airway or blood flow. And this primarily, as we talked about before, it constricts the blood flow. It puts somebody to sleep very fast. And if anybody didn't see the video of Alex Embry choking me out, I was out in a second. It was ridiculous. All right, so something you guys got to keep in mind too is for chokes, you have 2 methods. You have airway and blood flow. And the ones when you guys saw me get choked out by Alex Emery, that was a blood flow choke and he put me right out. But this, you were saying?
This application actually does both.
Okay.
Okay. And depending on the person that you're actually applying this to, if you're doing it with a big guy that has, you know, fucking no neck, he just goes from shoulders to ears, extremely applicable. Okay, you can get your arm around his neck, extremely applicable to where you can actually apply the wind and blood choke at the same time.
This is combative, this is self-defense, this isn't law enforcement where you're controlling someone, you know, for custody's sake. This is somebody who's attacking you and you're defending yourself.
Exactly.
And the issue is, one of the other issues I want to mention too is, based on, you know, your background in training, one of the main reasons I like this so much is the environment that you're in. You're not into one-on-one circumstance like an MMA, you got a ref to tap it out. You got 10, 15, 20 guys in front of you. And that was one of the beauties about what I saw with this application. I went, ooh, let's go over that a little bit. So getting into this, let's talk about what this is.
Okay.
All right. He's going to use me as a dummy.
Basically, I'm going to demonstrate this on Dominic first. There's a little trick with this technique as well, okay? And for guys that are in the MMA, that, you know, fight in the UFC, that do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so on and so forth, these guys are phenomenal athletes.
Amazing shape.
And a lot of these guys, yeah, they're in amazing shape, and a lot of these guys have some really good lean muscle mass. Okay, so if you've got decent sized arms, Okay? And I'm not talking like, you know, you look like 175 pounds of fucking chewed bubble gum and you got an arm that's that thick. But if you have a nice, decent sized bicep, tricep, and you're strong, flexing the arm, flexing your bicep during application actually intensifies this choke, as well as it takes up slack within the actual choke application.
Because you want as little space possible.
Exactly, because you don't want that guy being able to dig his fingers in to be able to pull the arm off.
Well, let's talk about the rear naked choke first. Rear naked choke, when Lenny puts it into me, everyone talks about defeating this. Well, you know, this isn't it. The issue is the rear hand. If you can stop this and applying, then you can fight. And everybody should know that by now. You know, once he locks this in, it's pretty much, that's a done friggin' deal. Okay. But this is what happens all the time. People are doing this, they're trying to create space, drop their weight, head back. But once that arm comes up here, you know, when you want to stop this somehow and put this, your focus has got to be on here. So just so we know about that. This, his technique, kind of eliminates that problem.
So as you get this, this is basically where you have the point of the elbow in line with his chin. So as you apply that, if I go for that rear naked choke and Dominic stops me, right, and there becomes a struggle, this is where I go to this variation of Sankakujimi. I let go of this arm and I go right for the back of my neck and I squeeze. You okay?
Yep, good. Go.
Okay.
Keep going.
As I do this, I'm not going to, at that point I also flex. So I'll flex my arm as I apply, see how he taps, I release. Now what I do is I use proper spinal alignment as I do this. I step up, which cocks his head up, turns his head off to the side. It's instantly applied. Now, did you feel?
I'm all about spinal alignment. You guys have heard me talk about that in structure and Wing Chun, where the spine's got to be at a certain point and your hips are over your feet. And when you put me in that choke, if you saw, not only am I up on my toes, but look at the small of my back. My back is arched. Because he's taking me, we talked about this too, body can handle two different directions, right? So he's taking me up and back. I don't have a base to drop on. Even if this choke is solid, and you know, your face out and it's resting, I don't have anything on that. I have nothing to fight. So from a personal standpoint, no, once you put it in there too, you can feel what he's talking about the bicep. The biceps doesn't shut off my artery.
That's where when you flex your arm, as you apply this, you have this little amount of space. As you flex the arm, it takes up the slack. So this hole actually becomes smaller because your bicep, as naturally when you flex, it grows, right? So as you do that, you flex, it grows, it takes up the slack. Then you straighten up, straighten your neck. This jacks his head to the opposite direction to where he's doing, whichever side you're doing it on. They'll pull his head this way, so now he can't see what you're doing. On top of that, what you could also do, MMA fighters, you're paying attention to this, so work fucking great for you guys. If you're able to get into this move and you apply this technique, whatever the case is you start applying, now you can start punching him right in the face because you got a free hand. So as you squeeze, boom, boom, you're sitting there popping him.
Yep.
He's not even focusing on stopping you. He goes into panic mode because of the fact that the blood choke is applied, the wind choke is applied. Now he's under massive duress. And within seconds, he will fade out whether you hit him or not. And you can't defend against this. The thing is, once you have this on your neck, you're grabbing your own neck, as you can see this.
Now you straightening up your spine when you do that?
Straightening up.
Yeah.
And as you do that, I have this leverage of my head pulling my hand back. It's not going to slip off because I cup my neck and I squeeze my own neck as I do this. Application applied, application successful. It's tap, snap, or nap. You make the call at that point.
So on one of the first videos you did, when you transitioned into that clothesline, you fed it off of a 1-2 punch, right?
Correct.
So if I go through it slow, it was a 1. So that looks like a Wing Chun bong style. Everybody seen that? That was the beauty of that. Is watch the angle this comes in. Does that look familiar? Okay, Wing Chun. So Lenny throws a left punch at me. No, it's the or even right, wrong bong. Okay, it's a transition. Their transition. Watch this as he goes. Okay, he's transitioning, deflecting, and then it's just a Wing Chun. Looks like a bong style and a tan style. So if you saw that in this first video, it was beautiful. That is going to be a transition into your movement on there, right? You throw a punch, 1, 2. I think I'm pretty fucked, guys. Can you see spinal alignment? Can you see arms stretched out? Oh, I felt that pec. Beautiful. All right, Frank, because you're at speed. Did you do that? Because I'm not.
Are we going to do 2 punches?
Just however, how would you How would you get into this application versus just somebody to come up and give you that?
He just goes, it's just a straightforward punch at that point. Boom, right through, yeah, take down, strike, boom, break the neck.
All right, we see it again?
You slow it down.
No, whatever's fine.
Okay.
The last thing everybody wants to know is that you got the bigger guy out there, bigger guy, the bigger guy out there. I already know the answer to this as far as for spinal manipulation, but you brought a gentleman here that we could show bigger application on. What happens when you get a guy who's not your size?
Dave, you step in. Okay. This is Dave. Dave, for the record,
Yes.
how tall are you?
6'2",
How much do you weigh?
310 pounds.
5'7".
5'9". Big fucking dude. So, with a larger gentleman, larger guy, or in this case, some larger fucking shithead that wants to fuck with me, right? He goes to shove. You know, most big guys might not want to actually come at you with that punch first. They might be like, you know, fuck you type of shit. He might try to shove me to intimidate me, so to speak. So if he goes and shoves, you know, pushing him off to the side, I still have this. Once I get in this position, he has an advantage because he has a height advantage. Now I'm gonna have to kick out his leg at that point. See how he automatically grabs the arm? Because he doesn't want to get caught in that position of, what if I have some type of grappling experience, choking experience, so on and so forth, to where he doesn't get caught up being choked out. So at that point, if I was to do a rear naked choke, he would try to grab. Then I would go into the pat kill technique, lock up, boom.
Now, is that a problem at all when he gets the hand in your arm of space? Did you feel any difference when you put your arm in there?
Not at all.
Okay.
Immediate pressure right on the side.
All right, let's
So
see it again.
Works pretty effectively. Do it one more time. So as this happens, flat, big, kick, apply, drop it down, strike the groin, stop.
All right, so I wanted you guys to see this because it's a simple application. You know us, we're all about simple, and it just reinforces the spine. Go ahead.
One more application is, go ahead and say what you gotta say.
No, it's all, you're reinforced by your structure. You're using
Okay.
your spine to reinforce a movement that, in my opinion, it's extremely effective, and it frees up another hand.
Okay, Frank, one more time. I'm not gonna go super fast on this, but for an example of, say, one of you guys make it to the UFC and end up on UFC 275, whichever one they're at now, how would this application work, applying this on the ground? So, for whatever reason, you know, Frank goes to punch again, whatever, move in, boom, I go to the ground with him, I can lock up, see how he rolls. You know, a lot of times people are gonna have a hard time getting this rear naked choke. You know, can't get in this. Basically adjust, grab the back of the head, squeeze, start striking. You okay? So you can still apply it being on the ground. You right? Let me get you back to this. So right from here, you can still apply this to where this might be easier, okay, but if he grabs his hand, I can still move in. Because I can move my head forward, grab my neck, and then lift my head back and apply. You good? So,
All right, so what you saw was a badass, awesome, simple technique that I told you. Personally, I haven't seen it anywhere else. It's MMA applicable, it's traditional applicable. It is absolutely combatants applicable if you're into firearms, as you saw in the opening scene. He's got a ton more coming to the channel. We got a crap load. We won't be shitting anybody's cornflakes anytime soon. That's his gig, not mine. So,
not to mention, this whole time that I demonstrated all these techniques, I demonstrated these techniques
with an unloaded firearm, which we do train with here. And yeah, you saw even going to the ground, he had it on there. So it's beautiful. We train for the reality of everything. So
all about combatives, real deal, man. Not fucking around.
No.
Real deal.
We're just scratching the surface, guys. So all right, don't forget to like, subscribe, go to the bottom, put your comments on there. He reads them. I don't. I just don't. Yes, I do.
I actually reply to him.
I reply to him. All right, we'll see you guys in the next video. I'm Dominic Izzo.
I'm Lenny Sly.
This is the Road Warriors channel on YouTube. We'll see you guys.